Okay, welcome. So you've just completed your 5th OnRamp class. Congratulations on that. And today we're going to review the new movements that you went through in that OnRamp class. The first is going to be the toe-to bar. So for a toe-to bar, what you're going to do is you're hanging from the pull-up bar here, right, the dead hang, just like the bottom of a pull-up, and you're going to pull your toes to the bar, right? That's a toe-to bar. It's literally touching your toes to the bar. So here's how that looks. Coming back down. Now, I get getting a full toe-to bar is going to be tough for most people initially, so a good substitution, a good modification you can do for that is simply a knee to chest. And for a knee to chest, what you're going to do is you're going to start in the same position, it's just hanging. You're just going to lift your knees, right, until they come near your chest. You can tap the ground for control, right, but that's going to be a good substitution for toe-to bar until you get the necessary strength in order to actually touch the toes to the bar and do those for reps, right? So just a knee to chest or your toe-to bar for the first movement. The second is going to be jumping rope. Now for jumping rope, a lot of this, right, just comes down to hand-eye coordination. And what you're trying to remember here is that you want to keep your shoulders nice and tight and locked in, and you want the movement to come through your wrist. So you don't want your whole arm to move like this. Shoulders nice and tight, and just moving with the wrist. So keep that in mind as you're watching the jump rope. Right, so shoulders, again, nice and tight. Movement's coming through a little bit in my elbow, but a lot through my wrist. Not moving the whole arm here, because it's just going to be inefficient and tire you out earlier than you need to in a workout. So that's your jump rope. Now the third movement is going to be a dumbbell snatch, right? So for a dumbbell snatch, you're going to have a dumbbell here. I'm going to demo first just without weight. So what you're thinking about with a dumbbell snatch is you're starting with a weight basically right in between your knees. And what you're doing is from here is you're pulling this weight up in one motion and you're receiving it all the way overhead. So you're going basically from the ground, or from, we call this the hang position, all the way up overhead in one movement, right? So what you're trying to do there is you're thinking about jumping, driving the elbow nice and high, and then receiving the weight overhead with a locked arm. So in slow motion, right, you're going to be here. We have our start position. My shoulder is in front of my knee. Right, so I'm not back like this. My shoulder is in front of my knee. The weight is going to be in my hand, which I'll demo in a second. But step one is simply going to be jumping, right? So you're kind of going up with momentum. So you're jumping straight up. As you're jumping, you're going to drive this elbow nice and high. We call this like elbowing a giant, right? You're going to jump, elbow, and you receive overhead locked down. So it'll look like this. And then stand. Now with weight, again, you have your start position. This is the hang position. Right here, right, my shoulder's in front of my knee. And it's going to be a jump, an elbow, and a land. Return back down. And back down. Right? Now the other side, same exact thing. Got my hang position. Jump and land. Right? So that's your dumbbell snatch. You can also do this with a kettlebell as well. Really the same principles apply. I'd suggest starting with a dumbbell initially though.